I felt a little Training Day.
I caught a sense of it. Yeah,
a little Training Day.
A little bit.
When he called for the bow, like Jake, hand me the bitch.
Right.
Yep.
That was
the moment he said bow.
So I also got a Training Day vibe. The doctor was patching up our boy, and he had the opium going. He comes in and goes, "I smell the opium."
Yeah.
I wanted to walk in the room and be like, "I didn't know you like to get wet."
Yeah.
Are you not entertained? Well, you will be in this episode of Eat, Sleep, Nerd because we will be reviewing and discussing the latest Ridley Scott film, Gladiator 2. And before we get into it, we will be discussing spoilers from the movie, so if you haven't seen it yet and don't want to get spoiled, you might want to come back later once you go see the movie. But I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter. Joining me for this discussion, we have our nerdy team here in the studio, Jason Summer.
Maximus!
All right. Nick Murphy.
I thought we were talking about Wicked.
Oh, well.
You're certainly in the wrong room for that.
Sorry, y'all.
And Josh Winter. Woohoo! Nothing?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So yes, we just went and saw the brand new Gladiator movie. It's been, 20 years in the making?
I was going to say, what a funny thing to say. I went to go see the new Gladiator movie.
Yeah.
If you told me like 4 years ago, yeah, dude, they're gonna make a Gladiator 2, I'd have been like,
who's gonna be in it?
Yeah, yeah. Still Russell Crowe. Actually, I would have. I'd have watched that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even lose weight. He's just there.
24 years.
Hasn't been that long. I was looking at the math.
Yeah,
it was
2000. Yeah.
It was one of those new turn of the millennium movies.
Yeah, it was like one of the first neo epics. It was when they really started doing the long form movies again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Iron Man killed it.
Marvel took it too far.
Mm.
So I was just looking to make sure. I believe Gladiator, the original one, obviously it won Best Picture and Best Actor for Russell Crowe. So to follow that up,
Gladiator 2.
Okay, yes.
Oh, wait. Corey was going to say something.
But to follow that up, I mean, you got to make it something special to follow up a film like that.
Absolutely.
So, kicking us off, do you guys think this is a worthy successor to a film like that?
I can't kick. I had an accident before the movie
ultimately, easy answer, no.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Okay, well, let's go.
Ask the question one more time. Because I feel like that was weird.
Is this a worthy successor to a film like Gladiator?
That's widely considered one of the greatest movies ever made.
No. Oh, worthy? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a good second movie? Yes.
Okay.
Is it like the same? No.
Okay. Josh?
I would have done it differently. It's good. It's very good. It is a very good movie. I would have made a different story.
Okay.
But it is good. It's not Gladiator good. I hope that the ways it are good is good. The ways it is good.
The ways are, plural. Ways are.
Yeah, but we're not describing the ways. We're describing the ways it are good.
No,
that's
it
not.
is.
That can't be right.
That's not
it. That can't be right.
So wrong.
Yeah, that cannot be right.
I was wrong.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my mom on the phone.
She got it.
No, the movie is good. It, in a weird way, feels entirely too connected and also entirely too disconnected from the movie that it follows. But I hope that the biggest takeaway is my biggest takeaway, which is that it felt like a movie, like a real movie, kind of like when we went to see Top Gun. Like, oh my gosh, it's a movie that feels like a movie and isn't about people in tights.
Sure.
Like, we used to make movies like this a little while back. Like, really not even that long ago. You got different movies about different things. When's the last time you had a sword and sandal epic? Gladiator was about the last time you had a sword and sandal epic. Yeah. I mean, there was like Troy and stuff like that.
I was just thinking Troy, Alexander.
But the point is, like, even then, those quickly followed on the success of Gladiator.
Yeah.
So, no, I liked it because it was a fun movie that wasn't like every other movie I've seen over the last 2 years. And between that and like Top Gun and Twisters, and sure, they're sequels, but oh my gosh, at least they're sequels to like movies. Like movies. It's not just another issue in the big machine churning out
Sure. Yeah.
movie after movie after movie. And I think people are catching on to that. Like, this was a pretty full house. Way more people than the last few Marvel movies I went to see. So,
yeah, we are seeing this a little bit later than we typically would for a new movie. It came out last week, so we're a few days behind, but still fresh in the zeitgeist.
We're in the second week. Yeah.
And it seems like people are taking notice. And the reason I wanted us to go see this is because a few months ago when they were doing early press screenings, there was all this hubbub from critics saying, hey, this might actually be one of the best films of all time. If nothing else, it's going to at least be some Oscar-worthy buzz for it, especially for acting like Denzel, and directing. So I was eager to see if all of that early buzz was worthy of it. And I don't think it really hit those marks for me.
I think it benefits from the quality of movies that are out, that have come out.
Yeah,
it benefits because this is in my brain, because I haven't seen all of them, but let alone paid any attention to them. But this is like a Lord of the Rings scale, like big epic movie, and like Josh said, you just don't get a lot of those now. It's very cookie cutter, unoriginal type movies now, and kind of just money grabs. And this felt like a we're just going to make a big movie. We're going to put big stars in it, and you're going to watch it because it's a big, epic, huge movie. And that's I liked it for that. I enjoyed that part of it. It not having, I've seen bits and pieces of Gladiator, the first Gladiator, but
TNT, man.
Yeah.
It's on there all the time. Still on there all the time.
But with this just being a big, epic, huge Lord of the Rings, epic type movie, I think that will definitely set it apart, and probably is why they got some Oscar buzz at the beginning, because
it's just different.
There's nothing else like it out there right now.
Sure.
And I do think there are Oscar-worthy things in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think it should have a lot of nominations for individual things.
Mm-hmm.
But to be one of the greatest pictures of all time, like, everything has to hit.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happened.
So let me ask you this, and we'll get into like the actual discussion of our feelings about the movie itself. But as far as the sequel goes, was this a necessary sequel?
Absolutely not.
No.
Oh, that was unanimous. All right.
No.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's not good, though.
Yeah, 100%.
It just means no one was asking for it.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary. They hadn't done it in 24 years. Like,
And-
it's not necessary.
And honestly, if you're going to do a sequel off of Gladiator, it should have been done much sooner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, almost off the coattails of the first one. So this is just it had become irrelevant almost.
Yeah, it was a very odd thing to suddenly have a sequel to.
Right. Now, clearly, people are okay with it because there's plenty of people seeing it. So, I guess
I kind of love that about Ridley Scott, though. It's like, Ridley Scott, you just made an incredible movie. What are you going to do? Yeah, maybe we'll make another one. It's just like, you made one of the greatest horror films of all time in Alien. What should we do? I don't know. Maybe we'll make like 6 more. And it's just like, okay, you made Gladiator. Haven't done that in a while. Yeah, no, let's do another one.
So
do you think
what?
What are your thoughts
on that?
Jinx? I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and not give it my score, but give it my
impression,
my grade. How about that? I'm going to differentiate score from grade. My cinema score grade for it would be like a B, which is on not the scale it would need to be a successor to Gladiator.
B's get degrees.
Sure, but I feel like to follow up a film like Gladiator, it needs to be an A at least.
I don't even think it I don't consider this a following up, though. Like, it's been too long. Like, it's the same universe.
It is the next entry.
Yeah, and I don't think it doesn't follow it. I mean, it does follow it because it's the same story, but it's not like it doesn't feel like a sequel to me. It's just like what happened next.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what a sequel is, but it's just
no. I get what you mean.
They're different.
Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit different for us, and I haven't even told them that we're doing this yet.
Ooh.
I'm going to go ahead and grab your individual scores.
Okay.
Because I want to see how you guys score this before we actually start discussing it, because I feel like our discussions actually kind of adjust our scores.
I'm quite persuasive, yes.
We are very easily persuaded. So I want to know what your scores are before we actually start talking about it. So,
be stubborn.
Who wants to go first with scoring Gladiator 2?
4.
Okay, I guess Josh is going first.
Out of 10.
No.
Kidding.
Yeah. How about we go Nick next?
I'm at 3.5.
Okay.
I'm willing to go to 4. 3.5.
Okay.
Jason's going to say 2. I can feel it.
Yeah. What's 6.5 divided by 2? 3.75.
Don't do this to me.
No, it's.
But also yes.
Yeah.
What was it?
3.75.
Sure, that's relatively round.
Wait, no, 3.25 would be.
What does it feel right to you?
Yeah, 3.25. 3.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel right there?
Emotionally.
Yeah.
Jason honestly went higher than I thought he would.
I'm gonna go 4.
4? Yeah, it feels like a solid 4. Like it's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah. So now,
hang on. Why? No, we'll talk later.
I don't know. You're just grumpy a lot of the time. You don't like a lot of things. So, which is fine. Like, I'm self-aware. I give everything a 5.
Because you're a little selective in what you go to the movies.
Well, first off, yeah, if I wasn't interested, I just wouldn't go see it.
Okay.
But also, I'm just like, yay, movie. You know? Like, let's go watch a movie. That's all I want.
No, to be fair, I go in entirely optimistic.
Sure you do.
You know what?
We were talking in the snack line.
Was it not like
you were very much looking forward to it?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
You very much were.
All right.
Okay.
I was excited.
Okay.
All right. So averaging all 4 of those scores together. So the way we do it here at Eat Sleep Nerd, we get individual scores, then we average all of them together to give us the overall Eat Sleep Nerd score.
We're usually pretty close.
We're usually pretty close to the general
consensus
amongst moviegoers. We're at a 3.69.
IMDb had it at a 7, like dead on 7. Yeah. So again,
I'm willing to be persuaded
close.
into a 4, so that might go up.
Well, then let's get into it. So let's start with story, since that is the big piece of this movie.
Okay.
I'll let Josh lead this one.
Wait,
okay, so
can I lead?
Yeah, go for it.
It's very simple.
Sure.
I saw Wicked yesterday, not knowing Wicked at all.
Wait, hang on. You know this is a Gladiator.
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, okay. Proceed. Okay.
I was hoping to feel what I felt for Wicked seeing this movie.
Oh.
And I didn't.
Okay.
The story for Wicked was phenomenal. And I was really hoping to feel the same thing here. So I know we're not gonna go see Wicked, I get it. But if I were to give that a grade, I would give that one a 5 for Wicked, 100%, because it was incredible. I was really hoping this would be the type of epic that was, just without the singing. And
I would have been okay with the singing.
Yeah. So I was kind of, maybe it's my fault for seeing Wicked first, because I knew it was going to be good. But I was really hoping for a big story like that. And this story was fine, but it was very confusing in parts, and it didn't ebb and flow like I wanted it to. That's all. I'm done.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's good.
Not as good as a musical.
One of the greatest musicals of all time, though. Well, so, like,
hey,
asterisk.
Hey, make your movie come out earlier. Compare it. Ridley.
All right, Josh.
Go ahead, sorry.
That's what the review should say. Mm-hmm. Gladiator 2, see it before Wicked.
100%.
Okay, so...
It'll make Wicked better. Okay, I'm done.
I liked everything about this movie except for the Gladiator part. Like, instead of making a Gladiator 2, they should have made a political thriller epic that followed up Gladiator.
I mean,
call it what you want.
Denzel was over there doing House of Cards in ancient Rome.
That's what I'm saying. And that was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like 1,000% the best part of the movie. All you have to do is take Homeboy, Little Lucius, spoilers. Little Lucius.
Oh yeah, hold on. I should. We've kind of already said it, but spoilers. Yeah. We will be talking spoilers.
Red alert. So, yeah. So anyway, take Little Lucius, make him never have fled, and make him a senator or I guess he would have been the emperor, and have it during a time of unrest and let it go from there, or explain why, because it's very, very loosely based on historical figures. Mm-hmm. Still have the 2 twin emperors, which was a thing, and talk about get into why Lucius is not the emperor, and have it go from there. It was the part of the movie that felt the most disjointed was shoehorning in the Gladiator stuff.
I'd agree with that.
And if you take out that little thread, which is actually a very small part of the movie, is actually the Gladiator stuff. Yeah. You're left with a pretty solid A+ of a movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if they didn't try to tie it back to the first movie, Just let it be its own movie.
Yeah.
Just in the same timeline.
Yep.
It would have
like we said, just the next chapter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even had Gladiator in the title.
Right.
And so that was my biggest issue with it is it felt like it really didn't need the Gladiator stuff, but we forced it in there anyway. And in a weird way, it distracted from an A+ movie of political intrigue and Roman betrayal and honestly an epic. That was the other thing. It felt like Ridley Scott really just wanted to make a big Roman epic. Bro, you're Ridley Scott. Just tell them that's what you want to do. They'll give you the money. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to wrap it around a movie you already made. Like, that's something low-level directors have to do. Like, just go to Paramount and be like, bro, I want the money. And they'll be like, okay. But yeah, so that's my biggest thing. And even that's just more of a note. Like, it was still good. The Gladiator stuff is fun. Ridley Scott directs violence in a wonderful way. It feels very visceral without feeling gratuitous. He doesn't go out of your way to gross you out, but he doesn't shy away from it.
Mm-hmm.
He does that very well with the Alien movies too.
So, okay. So since you brought up violence, I want to end the choreography.
Yeah.
This was one of the first weak things I saw in the movie was the choreography of the fight scenes, because in Gladiator it was so tight. The fight scenes it was so well done, and it was stylized, and it was fresh, and it was intense, and it brought you into the fight. With this movie, it didn't have that intensity for me. And I also saw openings where they should have taken kill shots, and it was sloppy almost to me. Like, I'm like, during one of the scenes when they're fighting in front of the Caesars, the two emperors, dude's like, he our main guy Lucius is like stumbling, and he's got his arm up with the side completely wide open, and the guy could have just stabbed him. And I'm like, it was a wasted, bad choreography. Anyway. So I was just like, it's not as tight as the first movie.
You know what had great choreography?
Wicked?
It did.
Were there a lot of fight scenes?
Great choreography. There was a fight scene.
Okay.
Is this our secret Wicked review?
I'm gonna slide him in.
Okay.
5 out of 5. I disagree.
That was a huge
Yeah, no, I disagree.
With whom?
You.
Oh,
and
okay.
Not me.
I just do. I didn't get that vibe.
Okay.
The biggest thing that I have, and this goes back to Corey's initial question, which is the story. The best thing about Gladiator was Maximus is painted as an ultimate paragon. All right? He's not just a badass with a sword that can F you up. He's a good man, and a genuinely good man. And the only thing he asks for when Augustus basically offers him the empire, he says, I'd really like to just go home.
Marcus Aurelius.
Yes. And who did I say?
Augustus.
Oh, that's a different one.
That's a different Caesar.
Yes. Also a very good one, though. Except he screwed up the calendar. But that's beside the point. So, but anyway, that was one of the most appealing things about him, is you knew the entire time you were rooting for a genuinely wholesome, kind of above flaw paragon. The key thing to this is that he was Lucius's dad. So did he cheat on his wife?
Yeah, because the kids were the same age.
Yeah, in the
Gladiator.
Yeah, and like I get that the opportunity would have been there because she traveled with her father, who in turn traveled with the army. That's literally how the movie opens up. And while they were hinted to be love interests, and apparently there were even love scenes shot in the film, they cut them out because they didn't want Maximus to be the kind of guy who would cheat on his wife, or the kind of guy who would betray that love because she just died. So they literally removed that. And now in the sequel, it's like, oh yeah, no, he totally railed her. Yeah. And he's definitely that dude's dad, which actually makes him an illegitimate heir to the throne.
Yeah.
BT dub.
Yeah.
But anyways, I did not like that. I did not like that at all.
I didn't like the relationship between Lucius and Mom, because it felt he had strange reaction to it both times. That they got
over it real fast.
I
thought that too.
Like he at first he was like, "Screw you, Mom! Like, I don't tell me to brush my teeth." And like they were just really, really, like, it was just a weird, like Like we know that you got sent away and you were upset about that, and she didn't come after you or whatever she said she would, but like she was put in a weird position as like she didn't really explain it, and he wasn't receiving anything anyway.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. And then he yelled at her. Okay, she goes away, and then
It was clunky.
yeah. Then she comes back, and he's like, "What's up, Mom?
Yeah,
How
right.
you doing?"
Yeah,
Like that's what happened in between.
feel-
like we missed that part.
I feel like
Just
those
unnecessary.
interactions were probably a lot longer
Okay.
and they were
So-
trimmed down.
So I had a big feeling throughout the entire movie that the pacing was way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
weird.
it's likely because a lot of stuff.
I was
got
gonna say, I got the vibe. This was probably a 3.5 hour
Yeah.
movie,
Mhm.
and they were just like, "Ooh boy, 2 hours. It's a Christmas movie. Let's go."
cut. Yeah.
So I did get that vibe. I feel like because Ridley Scott generally makes pretty good movies,
Mhm.
but like even the director's cut of Gladiator is significantly longer and better than the regular version of Gladiator.
My sister even said when we were leaving, she said, "Did that feel long? Was that a long movie to you?" I was like, "No,
Because it wasn't.
it felt.
It was a
fine, yeah.
mean 2 hours.
Yeah, it felt about like it. It felt about as long as it should have been, but I wouldn't have minded.
Another 30 minutes would have
Yeah.
been okay.
would
Oh,
have,
yeah.
would have helped with the story. I think.
Yeah. I agree.
I think.
And then as far as the story goes, I felt like they were trying to spoon feed the fact that it was a sequel to Gladiator because they had
Right.
all those flashbacks
Yeah.
and all that stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like
That's a very 90s thing to do,
Mhm.
is to have flashbacks that involve actual footage from the movie
and maybe that's showing the aged
of the director.
the aged skills of the director. You know,
Yeah.
just he's from a different time.
Yeah.
So
Which can be charming,
yeah. I mean, it's just
but
it definitely is an older.
it also,
style.
it also shows.
do you guys want to talk about acting?
Yes.
5 out of 5. To
5 out
everybody
of 5
involved.
acting. So
Except for Connie Nielsen.
Who's that?
She was okay.
She was the
his
mom.
The
mom.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
She was.
She
She,
was-
had some weird.
she was
facial
fine.
expressions.
Well, I think she's had so much work done on her face that it just doesn't move very much anymore.
okay, well, so this film was led by
It's not
Paul
even rude.
Mescal.
She's like 70.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, and Denzel Washington. Those were
Denzel.
Denzel.
His name really is Denzel.
It's
Okay, sorry.
literally.
Denzel.
You corrected the.
Fine.
I corrected the miscorrection. Yeah, sorry.
None of
I
us
meant
are
to
his
say
friends.
Denzel, but it came out Denzel, and I don't know anyway. Sorry.
He's been Denzel for the last
Yeah,
30
Denzel.
years. He's going to
Denzel.
keep being
Yes,
Denzel.
Sorry.
And he's-
sorry, Mr. Denzel.
And he said on record that he doesn't mind Denzel.
No,
So-
it's
okay. All right,
Yeah.
Denzel.
Checks
Thank you.
Keep clear. He don't care.
So anyway, those were the big three, like the big people
Yeah,
that are really
yeah.
pulling this film.
Yeah.
Obviously, there were others like Connie Nielsen, Joseph Quinn, and others, but the three big ones I feel like kind of carried the movie. Were
Would you check something real quick for me? You got the cast pulled up?
sure
Okay. Gracchus. Who played Gracchus?
Gracchus,
Yeah. And I'll tell you why later. I just want to
Derek Jacobi.
thank you.
So actually,
He played Gracchus in the first one. They brought him back.
Yes, two people that reprised
Yes.
their roles were
Connie
Derek
Nielsen.
Jacobi and
Yeah.
Connie Nielsen.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wicked had cameos. Kirsten Chenoweth and
Oh, did she?
and Adele Dazeem.
Little
From
little
John
little,
Travolta.
little Kristen.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that a John Travolta joke?
Yeah. No, they both were in, and actually,
They were the stage people, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
they were there. The original, the composer was in there.
Corey's so frustrated.
It
This
was
is not a
what
Wicked
else?
review.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
We could do that later if you want.
Cameos. No, it's fine.
Okay. So Denzel Washington, I feel like he kind of carried the movie.
He did.
1,000%. This is going to be Oscar number 3.
Yeah, you think?
I really do.
I don't know if he'll win it.
I was thinking about how I wanted to talk about his acting, and
Who's going to go against him?
Cynthia Erivo
Sorry.
in Wicked. Elphaba.
so anyway, Denzel's Washington. Denzel's acting.
Denzel's Washington.
I have like 8 thoughts going on in my head right now. So one of the things about Denzel is that I've always thought that he always acts like Denzel, and which is great because you know what you're going to get, and he's so fun to watch, and I've always enjoyed watching him. He doesn't act like Denzel in this, and I loved it. He was so
he looks a little goofy
he
at
was
times.
but he was like anyway. I can't put a finger on it, but he was definitely tweaked a bit, and he definitely was playing all the sides. And you could tell, and it was just so good. And I loved every scene he was in. I
Every-
just rank it up.
Single one of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope he gets an Oscar for this one.
At least
it
a
was-
nom.
At least a
get a
nod.
nod.
Yeah, he'll get the nom.
He got a nom
100%.
for the Shakespeare thing he did.
He has like
he'll get one for
Macbeth.
Oh, for Macbeth.
he's had like 9 nominations for best actor. He's won 2. So
But this was it was different for him. And I loved it so much.
I liked it too. I thought I felt a little Training Day.
I
it was
caught a
in
sense of
this.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
A little Training Day.
A little
bit. When he called for the bow, like Jake, hand me the bitch.
Right?
Yep.
That was I
that
think-
was the moment. He said, "Bo."
yeah, it was like
Okay,
it was
I
like
was gonna-
one time where you saw him get deadly serious.
Yeah.
So
it was like a flip.
So I also
switch
got
up.
a Training Day vibe, and it was right when the doctor was patching up our boy,
Mhm.
and he had the opium going. He comes in and goes, "I smell the opium."
Yeah.
I wanted to walk in the room and be like, "I didn't know you like to get wet."
Yeah.
Like,
I lost it when he said he walked out after he shot mom. He walked out and said, "Horse,"
yeah.
and they brought him a horse.
Right.
That
Well,
was wild.
Yeah,
I think
but
that
like,
I think
in
that
those-
works for him in real life too.
Probably.
If he
But,
just-
but in those two scenes, like it was further along in the movie, but they showed just how deadly he.
oh yeah,
Like
he's a lot of fun, but he's about his business.
right, yeah, and
They've been to the
it,
booty
it
house.
just kind of flipped the script on it at that point. What would you say?
We're just talking Training Day.
Oh. What do you think?
I loved Denzel.
Yes,
I think that's gonna be another Oscar for him. I liked that. Yes, there were Training Day vibes, but he was also kind of whimsical and goofy
Yes,
at times.
you didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like. So when we say these things, like it's not to take away from it. It was
Yeah, please understand that we mean it in
Yeah.
the best possible way.
yeah. It was there. It was he had quirks and
quirks is the word I was looking for. I think.
yeah, it was. And he definitely had a method to what he was doing. There was a method to his quirky madness.
He did a really good job though of concealing the ultimate motive of the character.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't know. Like I legitimately thought he was one way, and then we saw him kind of creak the door open just a touch into
Mhm.
where he was going, and then he kicked it down. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I see what's going on now. So like he did a really kind of thinking back through the movie as you watch it. Like, okay, I see why. I see why he did. Okay, I understand that. So I thought he played it really, really well. Really, really like you almost felt like. Obviously, you're watching. He's one of those actors where you watch the movie and you're like, "That's Denzel." Like, why is Denzel doing this? Why is
Right.
Denzel doing that?
Yeah.
Instead of whatever
That character's name. Yeah, we don't even know the character's name. Don't even
But-
care.
Yeah.
It was
But he-
Denzel in Gladiator 2.
Yeah. But he did such a good job of kind of keeping his cards to himself until it was time for us to see what it was that he was doing.
And it makes you
It's really
wonder, did he have a plan the whole time or did he see opportunities and take them?
100%.
You know what I mean?
Both.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Both.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
100%.
Both.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean he's just that kind of character. Like
Yeah.
it would have taken
Smartest man in the room. Yeah.
but he saw an opportunity to shorten the path.
I also really like that he played his character a little androgynous-y.
Right?
He was like
I'm
just
surprised.
very fluid.
Yeah.
He's a very fluid guy. And
Yeah.
I was like, this
Yeah.
is interesting. And he did it. It was very convincing. Like he did a wonderful job with that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And because they played into that. They don't really play into the sexuality of people, but they played into everybody was just about everybody.
Right.
And-
Yeah, Rome was like that
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you do play it in 2024 because you can get into some real trouble with stuff like that.
So let's talk about the actual lead of the movie, Paul Mescal.
There were other actors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He has not done much. This is like his 5th film.
Kind
credit.
of see why.
That was rude.
No, he's
fine,
all
I like
right.
him.
He's all right. He carried his role.
Okay.
He did what we needed him to do.
Mescal and Pascal, they were bland to me.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
I
Mescal
don't
and
know.
Pascal?
Like
No.
Yeah.
you can portray a bland character trait while still acting well. Like no, I mean like if he's like supposed to be a bland character, then or a bland person in the story, then you're then you're
You threw
conveying
Jason
that.
off hard.
Sorry, no, he's throwing graphics up, and I got
Ignore
distracted.
the graphics, Jason.
I
This is
can't.
behind the
Great.
scenes magic.
Sorry, but I got distracted.
God.
Sorry. Anyway, so anyway, and Pedro, who I love to watch act, seemed very wooden in this.
He did, and I feel like he was trying to do
yeah.
that like Roman accent, and it felt a little fakey.
Yeah. Now
He was polite enough to die halfway through the movie, though.
That was so nice of him.
He was. He just knelt down and said, "Do it."
No, I mean that was honestly that was probably the best part of his acting, like the entire time.
And it's really sad because I like Pedro so much, and I've liked all of his stuff so much up till now, and this was all right.
I don't feel like I got the same vibe. I thought he was expertly playing a guy who was just effing tired.
Yeah, I would agree with that part. Yeah,
his character wasn't super important, and except for those small moments where he was important. So like, I don't think he needed to play it any different.
No, he was very much a supporting character.
Yeah,
like he is not, which is funny because no one actually had a level of involvement that I thought they were going to.
The level of importance did kind of jump around a little bit.
But I mean, like, I was expecting Denzel, especially when the opening credits had him dead last, and also featuring Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting him. Oh man, like we're gonna have like 3 minutes of Denzel in it. It's just like one of those. Oh, they put every scene he had in the trailer. That's what I was expecting. Nah, Homeboy is definitely the main character of the entire movie.
It really was, yeah.
And then
he was the driving force behind everything. Yeah,
yeah. And then whereas our guy Mescal, I mean, like he's a plot trigger. But he really isn't in the movie that much. He does the Gladiator stuff, but as I said before, that's the part I would pull out. And then Pedro dies halfway through the movie.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
we've said that.
So, and to the point, and I would say that to your point earlier that the plot was confusing and maybe even a little convoluted. Other than the name Lucius, I really don't remember most people's names in the movie.
Yeah.
I know that Pedro Pascal's character started with an O, I think.
Cassius?
Cassius? Yeah.
Cassius?
His name was probably said more than anyone else's.
Yeah,
name.
and I mean they said Lucius's other name so often. I just don't remember it. That
Hummus,
something like that.
Yeah. And even Denzel's character's name, I don't recall. It just didn't carry the heart of the first movie for me, and I didn't get the same investment, and I wanted to. I promise I did. And Nick, I was telling Nick about the first one before we Nick knows how much I was really excited for this movie. And it just didn't carry it. And for me, the best parts of the movie were the flashback sequences,
really?
which became like just a reminder of what this wasn't for me.
Jeez.
So
I mean, no, that's fair though.
Well.
Like I get it.
I mean, even the best music in the movie was from Gladiator.
Yeah.
It wasn't from Gladiator 2. It was the original
Henry
score
Gregson,
being reused. Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry Gregson Williams.
Yeah. He did Wonder Woman.
He did Chronicles of Narnia, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he writes a good epic.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I wonder if he was almost hand tied because he had to use someone else's themes.
It's possible.
Probably.
I think at the very beginning of the movie, they did this really beautiful artwork, cartooning, sketching of kind of
The
highlights of Gladiator over the credits or under the credits, however you want to say it. Which I think would have been perfect to stop with Gladiator.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, this is a continuation of that, but they kept going back to Russell Crowe and Gladiator, and it just I think it also kind of took away from the importance of the other characters in the story that we were in. So,
did y'all notice too how fast they went through the opening credits? Like they were.
I did not notice that. No, I didn't notice that.
They were zooming through those. So I think that has something to do with what y'all said about the time.
Okay.
The time restraints that they probably got put on because they were flying through those opening credits. I was like, man, this is like 2 minutes and it was done. And then
that feels like a long time.
Well, maybe. Anyway, I thought the acting was fine. I thought Pedro Pascal did as good as he could with the character. The Lucius guy, I think, was...
Can't put 10 pounds of crap in a 5-gallon bucket.
Anyone could have played that role, in my opinion. I don't... He whatever for him. They picked a guy who kind of looked like Russell Crowe a little bit when he was younger.
Looks good with the shirt off.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like It's
What else do you need?
unconsequential. I loved the casting and the acting of the twin emperors. I thought they were really, really good villains.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job of making me hate them because I wanted them to
Sure.
die.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Can we talk about those two real quick?
Sure.
Yes.
Love it.
Did they discuss where they came from?
I was trying to figure out the
Like I
entire
said,
time.
you can dive into like the Caesar lineage
Sure.
if you want to, because like I said, it's loosely based on real life stuff.
I'm wondering, and because they didn't directly address where they came from, I'm actually kind of wondering if something did happen between Commodus and his sister, and this is their progeny,
And she was their mother as
and
well.
she was their mother, and this is how come. And like they didn't.
I mean, that would have been something good to play into.
And that's how come they're out on the throne, because they were the heirs.
The heirs.
Yeah. And so it's such an unspeakable thing in society because they were siblings.
If they didn't speak about it.
Yeah, right. So and they reminded me both of Commodus very much, actually.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering about that during the movie. I was just wondering if maybe that's where they did come from, or maybe I'm completely wrong. And if I delved a little bit into history,
I read a little bit of it while I was in the McDonald's drive-through line. In real life, one twin did kill the other, but then he reigned for like 6 years. Like he was not.
So the pacing was off.
He was not. Yeah, he was not. He was not removed immediately. In real life, the real life version of the character Denzel plays eventually deposed that emperor, and he had a decently long reign too,
Really?
like 10 years, something like that.
Okay.
Which, I mean, for Caesar back then, pretty good, 10 years.
Yeah.
But
I would have loved to have seen him kind of go through with his plan.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, in real life, he kind of succeeded.
Yeah.
I also don't think it was as dirty in real life as it was in the movie, but yeah,
It's Hollywood. I thought it would have been cool to see him kind of
if he just won.
Yeah, like legit. Like imagine that kind of Thanos. Ending.
Yeah. What if that really was the ending?
He gets to sit on the throne and look out over his kingdom, and and we don't know what happened.
End
after
credits.
that. Yeah, like legit.
Yep.
I mean, then maybe
And that would have been in line with history.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes that's just how it ends, guys.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been cool. That would have been ballsy.
Maybe they do a third one after that to
In another 20 years.
Another 20 years. But I think that would have been really cool because, like we all have agreed, the movie
He was the
really
best
wasn't
movie.
about him.
Yeah, he's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's really all the points I wanted to hit. We could go through some story stuff, but honestly, I don't really feel like it's necessary.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
This is the final question as far as I'm concerned, because I think it's a good way to wrap it up. This is not the first time they tried to write Gladiator 2. They tried to write a Gladiator 2 not terribly long after the first Gladiator.
Sure.
And they actually got a film composer. I can't remember his name or why they picked him. But Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott picked him to write a draft. And the draft still had Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Crowe, it picks up in the afterlife, where, and it leans heavily into the mythological side of all of it. Picks up in the afterlife where he meets a bunch of other souls who have not fully ascended. And he goes through and eventually ends up fighting a god or two, and then ends up being reincarnated as a Christian, who then proceeds to go and find Lucius, who is the emperor, to try to stop the spread of Christianity, fails, and the gods, who set him free to stop the spread of Christianity in the first place, condemn him to a life as a soldier, which is the last thing he ever wanted. And so he's an immortal soldier, and the end of the movie would have been a montage of him fighting through history, and the movie ends with him working a desk job in the Pentagon.
Oh, wow.
Would you have rather seen that movie instead of this movie? Because a small part of me is kind of like, yeah.
I mean, there's a
like if you're gonna follow up one of the greatest movies ever made, what if you made something completely different and it was the sequel?
It sounds like Mike Judge got a hold of it. Wow.
I don't think that would have been successful.
No.
Oh no.
And I also don't think it makes sense for what they did with Gladiator. It was
none of that.
None of that. Yeah. It just Yikes.
So you can read the full script online.
Okay.
Like they published it after like 15 years. or something.
Would you? I mean, out of just morbid curiosity, I'd watch it.
Should we have a table read
Would
of the failed Gladiator?
Read.
Yeah, a table
so
read. We each
fun.
get different. Yeah, we each get different parts, and we
That'd
just
be really
read through it.
Stay tuned.
the unproduced Gladiator
Yeah.
2? That's interesting.
Bigger table.
Let's take it a step further. Actually film it.
Yes, we're gonna make Gladiator 2, the one we should have
Can we
had.
just use action
No.
figures?
Yeah,
and
my
just-
foot hurts. They can't do that.
No, Legos.
Yeah, lower
Gladiator
levels, right.
1.5.
Okay.
So would you want to see that weird?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Hmm.
It'd be kind of like the Joker Fully All Do thing. Like it's so different. Why?
Yeah.
But also, it just sounds
Kinda,
so
yeah.
ridiculous. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a train wreck that you
Yeah.
know you just can't look away.
Especially because, as we've learned, Russell Crowe, who is, I would honestly say, probably one of the greatest actors, at least alive, fully commits no matter how ridiculous it is. So he would have fully committed if they decided to make that movie. Like
Oh,
he would have
yeah,
been 100% in.
Yeah. Oh, we would say, wow, you could tell he was having fun doing this, you know, or something like that. Yeah. Weird. Okay.
So would anyone change their score now that we've talked about it?
No.
No, I think it's right.
Actually, I might. If I were to change my score, I'd go lower. So I'm just going to move the words out.
Well, thanks for that segue. So our Eat Sleep Nerd score, as we discussed earlier, 3.69 out of 5.
That's so pretty.
Thanks.
I like it. It's nice.
So, I guess we recommend this one. I mean, if you're a
it's
fan of
good.
Gladiator, we recommend it. Go see it.
I don't know if that's who I would recommend it to. Like it's I wouldn't say if you're a fan of Gladiator, go see it. I would say
Yeah. Right.
if you like Denzel, if you want to see an epic movie, if you want to see something that's not like anything you've seen in the last few years, go see it. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
We nitpicked, but only because it's literally a follow-up to one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah. It's in my top 3 movies, depending on the day. It's number 1 or number 2 or number 3, depending on the day.
And I will say, I had not seen the original Gladiator in probably 15 years. And going into this one, really, without a review of what happened, I wasn't lost at all.
Well, because they kept telling you.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Oh, by the way.
In case you forgot.
Oh, and here's some of the music that you love so much from the first one.
Jason's salty about it. 3.69.
3.69, right.
Make sure you head on over to youtube.com/@eatsleepnerd. Click subscribe, click like, leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know if you've seen it and what you thought about it. Spoilers are welcome. Make sure you share our channel with your friends and family on socials. We're on all the different things: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok still?
Yeah, sure.
And Blue Sky.
And Blue Sky. We just
Yeah.
signed up for Blue Sky. We haven't posted anything yet, but we're on there.
Yeah, we're on there.
Yeah.
We're coming.
Yeah.
We're
If you
coming
rage
for
quit Twitter, you can find us on there.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Take it easy, people.
Strength and honor.
Wicked was good.
Wicked was good.